Danny White recently had a chat with Yahoo Sports about what he believes is the ultimate fix for college athletics, and that is collective bargaining. And this is straight from the Yahoo story. In White's model, college athletes would, in fact, not be employees of their schools. The structure calls for the creation of a national employment organization that partners with a players' association, perhaps one already formed in the professional leagues, in other words, the NFL Players Union, to create a modernized and improved ecosystem for football and men's basketball players. White describes in one still tethered to higher education via requirements in a bargained agreement. Collective bargaining and employment status shouldn't be seen as negative terms, he told Yahoo Sports. I think there's a lot of people who think the same way I do. We can go through another 3 or 5 or 10 years of a difficult environment, or we can accept the reality and fix it right now. Tyler?
Bravo.
You agree?
100%.
That collective bargaining is the answer.
Yes. You keep going down the wrong road, you're going to keep going 8 more exits, Jimmy, down the wrong side of the interstate, you're going to turn around and get it fixed. Look, we frequently talk about how well the NFL model and how college has copied it in some forms. Going to collective bargaining, you know what, prime example. There are a lot of people here who are fed up with tampering. Well, tampering, I can't believe that this softball player left to go to another softball place. You know how you get rid of tampering? Collective bargaining. So many of the little issues or the problems that a lot of the fan base has here, of course, if Tennessee does it, it's one thing, but when it happens to them, a lot of the issues that a lot of people call, text, the different shows when we're on, you get emails about, guess what fixes it? CBA. And bravo for Danny being the one person for, as the Ross Dillinger put in the article, for 4 years going, we need to get this done. Get it done. Go collective bargaining, 100%.
Do you agree, one, that that's the fix, and two, do you think we're going to get it quick?
I think it is the fix. My question to others, and while I was at the spring meetings, how do you get there? So some said, as Danny White suggested, forming, maybe partnering with the NFL. All right. Others have said you have to make the student athletes employees. So you've had 2 different opinions on how you get there. That's the big concern to me, though. And I know Danny White, you said 4 years, he's been, okay.
Pushing this?
I know that he had been pushing it for at least 2. But how do you get there? And that's the key. And I discussed with somebody that really knowledgeable about this. It says you don't have to make them employees, but you have to have an organization in which they can collectively bargain. And then it was, is it only football? Is it football and men's basketball?
Oh, yeah.
How many are in this circle? Do you also go to women's basketball to do this?
Track. Where do you draw the line?
Right, exactly. So I don't know. This person suggested you start with football and then go from there.
That needs to be the guinea pig. Absolutely.
It's an awfully big guinea pig, but if it works there, it works everywhere.
Exactly.
Yeah.
I think it's the fix. I have no problem with just making them employees. I know there's still this, we can't do that. I mean, would they have, if they're an employee, do they really have to go to school anymore? How many people out there that go to these games care? Who's sitting up there going, I hope he was at his chemistry class this week? No one cares. And you're to that point. So to me, I get it. You're just turning it into minor league sports. Mm-hmm. You did that the minute you started paying them. Mm-hmm. So it is minor league sports, and the thing that drives people crazy, drives me crazy, drives fans crazy, it's the player movement. Nobody cares about, I don't care that they're making money. Good for you. It's the player movement. It's the fact that they're making this here, and then somebody comes and says, I'll pay you more to come over here. That's what annoys people, is the player movement. And if you can come up with anything that stops that, now we got a deal. Here's a contract, you've signed it. You stay for 2 years and you get this. That's the deal.
Binding.
I'm good with it, whether they're an employee or not.
We hear so much from the people on our text line or the phone calls. Vol for life doesn't mean anything anymore. It's not VFL, it's VF pay. Vol for pay, vol for pay. You want to see some of these athletes stay here more than a year until they leave for the NFL draft? Hopefully 2-3 years. Collective bargaining. Get it done. It's not hard, in my opinion. Yeah, it's hard to get there, but the solution is not hard.
The problem is you don't have a lot of people that are agreeing. Well, you have some people, but you don't have a lot. You don't have the majority, I don't guess, that are agreeing with Danny White right now, that are saying this out loud. Here it is. Let's march toward it. You've got to get everybody, first of all, on the page that, this is where we need to go. And then they'll start to figure out how to get there. Right now, it's going to be willy-nilly, and I just don't think – I think you're continuing to drive past exit and another exit and another exit.
What's the argument against it?
The one thing I've heard from people in the Big 10, Big 12 realm is, okay, well, good luck whenever they go on strike.
Holdouts, lockouts.
Can you imagine a Saturday in the South down there in Knoxville, Tyler Ivins, and you guys aren't covering Tennessee, Alabama? Okay, yeah, there's a chance that could happen, but you get those things in order to ensure that we don't reach that limit. These are 18 to 22-year-old kids. Of course they're going to strike.
Somebody was telling me last year.
Technically, they could go on strike. I mean, you had Nico go on a one-man strike at
There
the
you
end of
go.
spring practice.
that a year ago that the majority of football players had multi-year contracts, but they weren't binding.
Right, it's a one-way contract. You pay me.
Nico had a 4-year deal.
Right.
But he broke it and there's no penalty.
$2 million a year
So
for four over four.
Is that really a contract?
Yeah.
Okay, when we come, I will say this though, kudos, as you said, when they hired him and he talked about we want to be a progressive athletic department, this is the kind of thing, I mean, you can say a lot of things about Danny White. I suppose there are people who don't like, he took my tickets, he's raising ticket prices. He finds good coaches.
Yes.
They win games. He knows how to make a lot of money, which is the way they hired him, the reason they hired him. And he is at the forefront and not afraid to step out there and be the guy saying, here's the fix, let's do it.
Cosign.
I think it's cool to have someone running your athletic department who is not afraid to step out and kind of lead the way. I think that's a great thing for Tennessee.